Good morning, everyone. I am April J. Bohol of BF3 and I am now submitting my output for the first activity. So, for the first question, what are the ultimate goal of the language, art, and multiliteracy curriculum? So, the ultimate goal of the language, art, and multiliteracy curriculum is to produce graduates who apply language conventions, principles, strategies, and skills interacting with others, understanding and learning other content areas, and fending for themselves in whatever field of endeavor they may engage in. So, for the next question, as a future language teacher, how can you contribute to the realization of this goal? So, as a future language teacher, I can contribute on helping realizing this goal by applying all those knowledge, all those learnings I absorbed, and practicing my skills in order for me to become more better in terms of teaching. And for the last question, explain each component of language, arts, and multiliteracy curriculum or LAMC framework. Gave practical examples on how each component was translated or applied in an elementary language classroom. So, the language art curriculum covers the area of literature, informative text, writing, viewing, speaking, listening, media literacy, and language skills. Thus, the language art curriculum has its four main contents, which are listening, writing, speaking, and reading. So, language arts instruction practices meet differing needs of the learners, and it should be responsive to the cultures, language, and experiences that students should bring to the classroom. The main goal of the language art curriculum is to increase the learning literacy in four main components. So, the first main goal, or the first one of the four main components of the language art curriculum, is listening. So, listening to a comprehending information is an essential step in acquiring knowledge. Listening is not a natural, innate ability, but instead, it is learned through the guidance and teaching of parents, teachers, and other people in young children's environment. Listening is one of the hardest skills to teach to young students because of the factors that affects their listening ability, and that they are often busy in initiating activities, and those who are not interested to listening to those or to listen to those around them. So, the second goal of the language art curriculum is the speaking. So, in order to learn the language, children need opportunities to talk and be heard. So, when the children want to communicate, they need to speak in such a way that others can understand and hear it. Children need to learn the way the speak should depend on the situation. So, informal speech is appropriate in family and friends, but the formal and more precise speech is for school and public places. So, the third main components of the language art curriculum would be writing. So, as their knowledge of print increases, letters are formed, and the collection of nonsense letters come closer to the phonetic spellings. Children should be able to learn how to write for them to communicate, express, and document their activities. Children at an early age begins to write by scribbling and drawing pictures. So the first discovery is often writing their own names. So for the last but not the least of the language art curriculum, it is reading. So although formal reading instruction typically begins in the first grade, kindergarten develop many skills that prepares them to learn to read. Children whose daily routines and activity provides the reading opportunities will begin to identify environmental prints. So an environment that is rich in books and prints help children begin to discern the meaning of prints. So, what seems like scribbling on a page begins to develop meaning as children begin to understand that prints communicate a message. So, children learns to recognize letters and words and eventually become aware of the relationship of sounds to letters and words. Some kindergartners effortlessly crack the code and begin to identify and sound out words with continued exposure to prints. For other kindergartens, reading will take more effort and require more formal instruction in first and second grade. Okay, so everyone, that's all. Thank you so much and God bless us all.